Greetings, blessings, and wholeness. I'll leave the date in the description. I'll leave the amount of time that it took me to get this done in the description. Been working steadily, but it's become more of a earth sculpting project than I had realized it was going to be. Like I said in the last video, the tiller only really did like the first top 2 inches. So I'm digging out these pathways, and as I dig out the pathways, I shovel the dirt onto where the bed is going to be. So now I'm working with like 4 inches of dust rather than 2 inches of dust. And then where these wood chips are laid, I put some aged horse manure. So if I could get, that was only 3 bags, so 3, 6, 9, 12 bags. Probably be like 12 bags of horse manure per bed. And that's a lot, but she did say I have access to unlimited supply, so maybe I can make that happen. So if I don't make that happen though, it'll just be laying every bed with all the wood chips that are right here, and potentially being able to sow cover crops. I have to look at my seed stock to see if I have to buy more in. So walking down this path, and then I will fill, after laying the beds with wood chips, I will lay the pathways with wood chips. But I was thinking, because at the end here it's like pretty rocky, which you can see, this is like, I can get my hand in pretty deep now. So we're working with something in some spots, but having it in direct sun every day and it just blowing away in the wind is not ideal. But I guess that's desert farming. So I got these rocks here because this first pathway, it kind of dips down right here, so the water will actually flow out this way. So it's kind of for drainage to kind of catch some of the sediment, and then grasses will grow. And then I actually did that at the bottom of each of these pathways, because like I said, on this side it was the most rocky. But every pathway besides this pathway, so this one will drain out that way, but these ones are more elevated, so they will act as just like direct sinkage, water sinkage into the ground, like swale pathways per se. So you can see the rocks right here, and then so I've done grass in pathways and I've done wood chips in pathways. But what about if you put rocks in pathways? Because it's always cool and moist under a rock, right? Like even on a hot sunny day. And that's where like reptiles go to stay cool. And the soil isn't bare anymore because it's covered by rocks. So might be onto something there, who knows? But at least at the edges where it's most rocky, I go down the beds and throw out all the rocks from inside the bed, and then I throw them into the pathway, and then I bring them down to the end of the bed. So that's how many rocks were, big rocks, were in each one of these beds. So not too many. And so the way that I make the beds is, and see how they're curved? Everything here is eyeballed. I didn't use no tape measure. I may have used one if I had one, but I don't have one. So I rock like a size 10 shoe. So I just roughly eyeball 2 inches on top of each one of my shoes when I walk it. So it's like basically my foot's a ruler, 1 foot, and you know, so that's how I measured out the whole plot, and then now that's how I'm measuring out the rows. So I just learned from one of these farmers I learned from, Jesse Frost. Basically, he does 2-foot pathways and 4-foot beds. The market garden standard is 12-foot pathway, 12-inch pathways, and 30-inch beds. So I like the idea of the wider pathway and the wider bed. It still came out to like a shovel length pathway, so about 12 inches. Each bed is about 4 feet. So I'm liking the wider beds. So what I do to shape the pathways is I go down once with a spade shovel, I come back with a spade shovel, and as I'm making the pathway, I'm shoveling the dirt onto the bed that I'm making. And then after I go up and down with a spade shovel, I go up and down with a flat shovel. And then that flattens it out, gets some more dirt up onto the bed. And that's how I made these beds today, so far. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I'll continue making the beds as I go down. I'll show you guys from the other side. So this is that tansy I keep talking about that I wanted to work around and save seed. There's been bees buzzing on it every day that I'm here. So I'm happy to work with this plant and not completely destroy it out of the landscape. That tumbleweed though, it's a different story. Kinda not happy to get rid of it, but I'm happy for it to not be poking me while I'm trying to farm. So we got 4 beds. 4 beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 beds. So I'd estimate probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 more beds to the 40-foot marker. It's 40 feet going south to north, and then it's 80 feet going west to east. And then we got this, it's 80 feet going on this diagonal right here, and then it's 80 feet on the back. So it's only the short 40 feet right up to here. So we'll have 10 to 11 80-foot beds going down straight, and then we'll have some beds going on the diagonal. So it'll be, so these will all, see how the lines are diagonal? These lines are straight, those ones are going that way. That's the way that the beds will go, because this is kind of like the corner here. So they'll get shorter. So this one will be longer, this will be the longest, shorter, 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 shorter. I've seen other farms have their beds like that before. It's just kind of like you got to work with the layout of the land. And the same thing with the pathways. It's like I don't really have machines, just that one time initial till. So when it does a little wave in the ground, see, like they're straight, but they're not straight. They're not straight, but they're the length, they're the width that I want them to be. And that's just the shovel showing you layout of the land. There's a better word for that. Can't think of it right now. But yeah, so that's where we're at for today. Peace, blessings, and wholeness. I'm hungry and tired, so I think I'm gonna call it for today. When your energy is just not there anymore, it's not always a good thing to press forward, because then if your energy is not right, the work that you're doing isn't getting good energy put into it. So I'd say this was a good dent, and now I know what it takes and how long it takes me, how much more I have to go, so that'll give me kind of a time frame on when all these beds will be shaped by. And then it's just going to be laying the mulch, and I'm estimated to plant garlic and my tree seeds October 20th. It's a root day. Double root day. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for your support. Peace and blessings. Wholeness. Sunshine Farm.